Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's nearly Valentine's Day, which is super exciting. I really love Valentine's Day, it's just so sweet. So on that note, I'm going to be showing you how to make Valentine's cookies. They're going to be pink and pretty. We're going to make homemade chocolates for the top. It's just going to be so fun. I've got a KitchenAid here with me today. You can by all means do this by hand. This is just quicker and more efficient for me because my arm will start hurting. The first thing that we need for these Valentine's cookies is butter. Now, I'm very aware of how expensive butter is these days. It's £2 for a tiny block of it. So that is not ideal. I've just got some like margarine soft spread from Tesco. You can get it from Aldi, and in my opinion, it does the job. So I'm just going to add in, I'm going to call it butter, into here. I will attach the measurements in the comments for you guys. Bear with. I hate when it gets stuck on the spoon, but the good thing about this one is it stays quite soft even in the fridge. Then we're going to add brown sugar, which is vital for this recipe. Otherwise, your cookies just won't come out nice and soft and chewy on the outside, soft on the inside. In that goes. Hopefully you can see. And I'm also going to add caster sugar to that. I'm adding 170 grams of this. It doesn't really matter if you're not bang on. It's going to be sweet anyway. It doesn't have to be down to the gram. So in that goes. For some extra flavour, I'm going to add some vanilla essence. Just add as much or as little as you like. I do think this makes a difference. I used to be that person who was like, you don't need to add vanilla, it doesn't make any difference, but I realised it actually does. Then, either by hand or with your mixer, that needs to beat together until the butter and the sugar have sort of formed a little paste, I want to say. Oh, eggs. Okay, that is done. I will show you what that looks like. Well, it looks like this. Now I'm gonna add 2 eggs. Do that now. The good thing about adding 2 eggs is it will make the cookies nice and fluffy inside. Does anybody else just hate getting egg on them? Then you have to go and like wash your hands. I'll be back in a minute. And we're also gonna give that a bit of a little beat. Bit of a beating. This will start to look a bit curdled, but that doesn't matter because once you add your flour, that all goes away. So I'm just going to do that now. That's going to be a very wet mixture. So we just need to make sure that all of that is off of there to avoid it leaking onto my KitchenAid. So I'm going to just give that a little smack. Got to be quick here so that it doesn't leak. We need a lot of flour for this, 500 grams roughly. This will make around 15 large cookies. So now once again that goes on there, and that is now going to form the dough. Oh yeah, can't forget we need to add these. Let me just check how much I need. 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. This really does make a difference. If you don't add this and the baking powder, you won't get a nice sort of like crackly effect on the top of the cookies. It's 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then once the dough has been formed, I'm gonna split it because I'm not gonna make all 14 cookies pink. I'm gonna do like a variation of different kinds of cookies. Oh my God, the table is moving. This is what it will look like. You can kind of see that it's now a big thick dough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some white chocolate Smarties for this recipe just because I love them. You can add anything you like to this. It doesn't have to be white chocolate Smarties. However, I would say they actually really complement the flavors, so feel free. And I'm also gonna chop up a little bar of white chocolate. It doesn't have to be white chocolate. You can add milk chocolate, dark chocolate. You might be wondering, oh, why don't you just buy chocolate chips? And well, the answer is they're now 60p to £1, depending on where you get them from. And this bar of chocolate was 30p. I'm trying to make budget-friendly decisions, okay? This is the worst part of the whole thing, in my opinion. Okay. Ugh. I don't care if there's big chunks. I like big chunks of chocolate. So in that goes as well. And yes, I have cut this on a fish chopping board because I don't eat fish. So I just turned it into a chocolate chopping board. Out of breath now from that. Gonna make sure that's all combined, and I'm gonna get a few different bowls to split the dough into. I found my gloves. Sorry, I'm in a singing mood. If you have any of these, then use them. You can get them for like £1 on the internet, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get the dough off of here. I'm just going to divide this equally. Like I said, you don't need to do this, but if you want them to be different flavours, then by all means, because I'm gonna experiment today. to be bang on accurate. It really isn't that deep. I'm gonna keep one of them vanilla. Now, the exciting part, I'm going to do one load of it pink. So in that goes, oh, in you go, babes. Okay. I'm gonna get the food colouring. I got this from Tesco. It's the Dr. Oetker one, if that's how you say it. I'm just gonna start off with like 4 drops because it's quite a lot of dough. Just keep adding more food colouring if you think it's necessary because it needs to be quite a vibrant pink so that it doesn't go brown in the oven. I hope this doesn't break the table. I have now been left with a very pink dough. That was my aim. I don't want it to be just a little bit pink. I want it to be vibrantly pink, which is what I think I've got. I just need to transport that back into here. I think I'm gonna bake the pink ones. I'm gonna come off there. Excuse me, on a lower temperature because sometimes when you use food colouring in bakes, it can tend to just go brown in the oven. I'm adding the next bit of dough in there. So now I'm just gonna add a bit of cocoa powder and a tiny bit of water because the cocoa powder is gonna make it go quite a stiff dough, which is what we don't want. And then just keep adding more of this if you don't think it's chocolatey enough. I love chocolate cookies. And that is the completed use of the KitchenAid. We no longer need it. This is how I've always done my cookies. I get some cling film, just maybe this much, doesn't need to be too much, and I wrap it around my scales. This just prevents too much mess. And then I get a bit of cookie dough, give it a bit of a mix, weigh it on there, and I want it to weigh 80 grams, and that is 80 grams. So I'm just gonna form that into a ball now and leave it on my tray to rest. These are gonna be going into the fridge for around an hour because what this does is it lets the dough just sort of firm up a bit, because if you don't do this part in the oven, if you were to cook them now straight away, they just go and they just literally spread out so big. 80 grams a cookie is the ideal number for me. These are gonna be so cute. Oh my God, I'm so chuffed with how pink these are. So I'm not sure what temperature I'll cook these at. Maybe like 150. Usually I bake my cookies at 180. This is so fun. I love making cookies. You guys have to try this. Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. What are your plans this year? You going anywhere? Me and my boyfriend are going to Brighton just for a little 2-night getaway, but we're not actually going on Valentine's Day because he's working. That is all the pink ones done. Now we're gonna do some half and half cookies. So half of it is gonna be chocolate and half of it is gonna be vanilla. These are my specialty. When I had my baking business, these were so popular. So what I do is I get 40-ish grams of vanilla. That was 45. And then I get another chunk of this until it gets to 80. I just mix the two together. I'll show you what it looks like in a sec. Until you get this creation. Look how beautiful that is. And they just taste so good. So I'm just gonna do a few of those. Me and my boyfriend always go to the Wild Bean Cafe, you know, the one that M&S have. And we always get these Wild Bean chocolate cookies and they just taste amazing. But they're so expensive. I think it's like £2 for 4 cookies. So I just thought, you know what? I need to make my own now. This is why I really recommend the gloves. It makes rolling the cookies much easier because it doesn't stick to your hand. And also, even if the cookie dough is the perfect temperature, it can still stick to your hands because the heat from your hand warms up the cookie and then makes it sticky. That's why the gloves are a great investment. Now we're gonna do some purely vanilla ones. Also, if you hear me singing Miley Cyrus Can't Be Tamed, it's because I was raving to it last night and then remembered how much of a great song it is. I am literally craving a cup of tea right now so bad, and I've run out of milk. I think I'm gonna have to pop over to Waitrose, my favorite place. I really don't like Waitrose because every time I go in there, because I'm technically not their target audience, I just feel like they hate me. They always follow me around. Every single time I used to go in there, they used to pull me over after I'd paid and they'd go, sorry, you haven't paid. I was like, well, I have. And then I'd show them that I had and then they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, madam. Oh, I'm really sorry. And I'd just be like, that's why every time I go in there now, I always ensure that I get the receipt so then I can just show them and be like, See ya. One more vanilla one. I think I've got enough for one more cookie. 4, 8, 12, 16. It's made a lot more cookies than I anticipated. Usually this only makes like 15 cookies. Look how good they look. Oh my god, I'm so excited to try them. I just realized I've made like Neapolitan cookies, you know, the ice cream. These will need to chill in the fridge for an hour, like I said. And by the time these have baked, the homemade chocolates will be ready. Then they need to cool down and we'll go from there. Still quite a few more stages, but these are so worth it and you need to try them. Just look how delicious these look. I'm literally obsessed. So I'll be back soon. Go grab a snack in the meantime and I will see you then. So I've just tidied the table up a little bit and we're now gonna make the homemade Valentine's chocolates. So what I've got here is melted white chocolate with a tiny bit of sunflower oil in there. And that is really useful here because it makes the consistency of the chocolate a lot more workable. As if you just add food coloring to chocolate usually, it goes a bit it's solid and clumpy. What you will need for this is a Love Heart chocolate mold. A silicone mold is best. This is the one that I've got. I got it from the internet. You can get them really cheap. And I've also got this one. I'm going to be doing 19 chocolates because you should always do one spare. We're going to do a little ombre effect for these. So to start with, what you need to do is get a tiny bit of pink food coloring. Why am I shaking? So that it really lightly colours the chocolate. You want it to be really... How did that just happen? Maybe a bit more pink. This is my top tip. Make sure you have piping bags, by the way. You get your piping bag, you put it in your glass, as so, and you pour it in. I think that'll be fine. I'm gonna pour a small bit of this into every single mold. So I'm just gonna cut the piping bag really small. Just add a small bit to the bottom. I'm gonna just pour that back in there now because I didn't need to use all of it. It's hard to know how much to use. So for this one, I'm gonna do some different patterns. There's gonna be different layers of pink. So that is what it looks like for the time being. So now what I need to do, which is quite self-explanatory, is make the chocolate a bit more darker, if that's how you say it, a bit more dark. You know the drill by now. I'm just gonna add a bit more chocolate. Onto the final layer, so a bit darker again. You don't even have to just do love hearts, you can do any kind of mold. Last year I did little cherries and that was so cute. I need to do those again actually. Honestly, this is so simple but really effective, and what's going to be exciting is I'm going to add these chocolates to the top of the cookies. If I don't use all of this, then I'll use it again later because I can just heat it up again really slowly in the microwave. You don't even have to do this exact pattern. You can do any kind of decoration that you think is best. For example, you can change the design, you can do a different ombre, you could maybe do purple and pink. So what I'm going to do now is just gently tap them on the table to get them all nice and smooth. Oh my god, stop, I love making these so much. Oh my god, look how pretty those are. I am obsessed. I can't. These are going to go in the fridge as well for as long as it takes till they're ready. They usually take around half an hour, but I'm going to just leave them in until the cookies have done and they're cooled down. You really have to make sure the cookies are completely cooled before adding these, otherwise they'll just melt. Let's see how they turn out. I can't wait. Oh my god. I am back after many hours and the cookies are baked, as you can see. I'm going to make sure you can see the pink ones. They turned out really well. So now it's time to decorate them. We're just going to pop the chocolates out of the mold. Oh my god, they're so pretty. I'm also just going to remove any excess chocolate because we want them to look nice and satisfying. You have to make these, honestly, even if you don't make as many as I've made, because it seems like a lot now in hindsight. The chocolates are ready. I'm just gonna pipe a little dot of chocolate on the cookies, just like this. Before it solidifies, I'm just gonna add a chocolate. If you can hear anything in the background, it's because I'm making my dinner. I am having chicken pasta salad tonight, which I think I've talked about many times. It's literally the most simple dinner. It's basically just pasta with salad leaves, chicken chopped up, cheese, cucumber, salad, already said that, sweet corn. Have I made too many chocolates? How have I miscalculated this? Oh, I ate one. Yeah, I forgot to say, that's why I have so many. I just wanted to test that they were okay because there's nothing worse than a dry cookie. I should have made more chocolates because they're so pretty. Anyway, they are complete. The final result is here. I will pan over them with the camera in a minute so that you can see. For the best results, you just need to let the chocolate solidify once again on the top, and they're ready to eat. I should have added 2 chocolates on each one though, like that one. But anyway, thank you for coming along with me to make these cookies. I hope you've enjoyed watching me do it. At least it wasn't a disaster. There's nothing worse than a super chaotic baking video. My videos are naturally quite chaotic, but sometimes they can be extra chaotic, like when I tried to make macaroons. I have to trust some of my baking skills, and these have come out really nice. Should we have a look at the pink cookies? Oh my god, they're so pink. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys do for Valentine's Day. I hope you have a great one. Also, let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like me to bake, just anything at all. Just comment it all down below, and I will see you next time.